how to get the best results with tapping on animals. Is surrogate tapping or direct tapping the most efficient? Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm the Outdoor Witch, animal communicator, outdoor lover, energy healer, and owner of several animal friends. Today, with the help of Bobby, he's my Alaskan Husky, I'm going to tell you about my experience with tapping, also known as EFT tapping, on, with, and for our animal friends. If you're not familiar with tapping or EFT tapping, it's an alternative method created by Gary Craig in the early 90s that allow to release emotions, blocked emotions in the body, and to restore the body energy balance, and allows healing, release of blocked emotions, blockage, and it's really an efficient technique that I've used for many years. I don't use it as much now as I'm actually moving to a bit more advanced technique, as I'm also evolving as a practitioner and energy healer. However, I really believe that EFT tapping is an awesome method if you're a beginner or if you're quite new to energy work on yourself or on animals. And I believe it really gives you a good basis when you want to work with energy. It's a wonderful tool. It's very practical. It's very practical, and that's why I believe that the classic EFT tapping is a tool that you need to know about, and that can really helps you get really wonderful results with your animal. I think one of the main advantage of the tapping method is that you get actually feedback as you're doing the work, because it's very easy to feel the result, feel the release of energy within your own body as you work, whether it's on yourself or on animals. And therefore, you know that results are coming, that changes are coming, even if you can't see the result yet in the outer reality. In this video, I'm not going to go into details of what is EFT, how it works, and on the technique itself. That can be another video. I will put the link below to some of Gary Craig's video on the basic recipe. But for now, in this video, I want to focus on the difference between direct tapping and surrogate tapping. However, if you want some videos on the way I use the tapping, or if you need help with the starting sentence, the repeating sequence, just let me know in the comment, because I'll be really happy to make a video or write an article on this in the future. Okay, Bobby, let's get started. Right. Okay, on today's topic now. With my animals clients, I've been using both direct and surrogate tapping. I believe they bring different results, or let's say they apply to different situations. But first, what does it mean? So, by direct tapping, I mean tapping directly on the animal, like using the appropriate tapping points on the dog, horse, or cat, and so really working directly on the animal. Do and in this case, I usually do only the basic recipe. I never use the hands points or the nine gamut. So that's the first one, like direct tapping directly on the animal. Bobby's the greatest mother ever. Now, by surrogate tapping, I mean working or using myself or somebody else as an antenna, and I don't tap directly on the animal. So I can do it whether with the animal nearby, like this, and I would work on Bobby, but tapping the points on myself. I can also have somebody working with me, and I will tap on that person, and that person would represent the animal. And there are reasons why I actually prefer surrogate tapping, but I will come to that just in a minute. Um, So that's the two main differences. So direct tapping on the animal, surrogate tapping using yourself or somebody else to tap onto. So let's start with direct tapping. When is it better or when would I use it? Actually, I think now, after all the experience I have, I like to use direct tapping when the issue is mild or when we have already worked on it with surrogate tapping. And then I use it to emphasize, to reinforce the work done. So it can be like, for instance, let's say your dog is totally scared of thunder, and you've done already on this remotely or using surrogate tapping. And when the situation is coming again, and you see that your animal starts to feel uncomfortable, like the thunder is coming or a similar noise is coming, and you start to see that your animal is not, as relaxed as it used to be, you can do some tapping on them at using the basic recipe to reinforce the work done. And this usually calms down the animal very quickly. So if the work is already done, you simply have to repeat a few sequences, and usually the animal will relax very, very quickly. So that's one situation I like to use direct tapping. It can also be actually on the totally opposite when the situation is really stressful and your animal is there completely shaking. And you can also do it. I do it on my horse, like if she's suddenly scared of something during transport, I would just do some tapping on her like this, and usually only on the head or in front there on the chest, because it's a very important point for animals. So I would use it there. So to sum up, usually I use direct tapping when the issue is mild or has already been worked on and I just want to reinforce the work done, or when the situation is like in crisis, but that you can actually approach the animal and do the tapping to soothe them at that moment. That would be the two main reasons I use direct tapping. However, in most cases, I prefer surrogate tapping. And there's four main reasons for that. The first reason, it's because it's a lot easier to connect with the feeling, the emotions, the sensation in your body when you do surrogate tapping rather than when you're working directly on the animal, especially if the situation is tense or causing a lot of anxiety, a lot of distress for the animal. So I think I can focus a lot more. I can really be more present in my work when I do surrogate tapping. So the second reason I really like surrogate tapping is that you can do it anytime, anywhere. You don't have to be in the very critical situation, and you don't have to face your animal like being very animal client, being really under stress or under high anxiety. So you can be more efficient. If you try to work on an animal that is completely panicked, it can be dangerous if it's a horse or a cow, and even if it's a dog, because you get too involved, too attached to to attach to what you are facing at the moment. So you can't really go back deep to the root of the issue, and you're going to focus too much on what's going on now, on the current situation now. So I think it's both more convenient for the practitioner and the animal to use surrogate tapping. So that's not reason number two. And that leads me directly to reason number three, is like it's less invasive. Imagine you're working with a very shy cat or dog, and you start tapping on them like this. It can be very uncomfortable for them and adding stress to a situation which is already very stressful. Um, I also noticed that quite a lot of animals don't like when we do the tapping. Bobby is not the best case for that because he get extra attention, but actually quite a lot of them don't really like it. And after a while, they can, just want to be moving, and they don't enjoy being tapped on like that. It's not the case for all, but it can be. So number three was that it's less intrusive, less invasive. You're more respectful of the animal, especially if it's a shy one or a very anxious animal. I have even noticed that some animals where I use only communication to work on them, that is, I'm not even doing any tapping, but I tap in my mind on them, they can actually uh, not enjoy it and feel distressed or uncomfortable. So just keep in mind that tapping on the animal directly is not something they all like. And the number four reason is that you can actually then use tapping even on wild animals or animals that are not right there next to you or that you cannot approach. And you get exactly the same results. It's really, really efficient as well. So I usually use surrogate tapping, and most of the time I use myself as an antenna, as the surrogate to do the tapping. And then when I do that, I really go into the animal skin. I try to see, to feel, to be the animal when I do the tapping, to dive deep into his history, his fears, and this really helps me being the animal think his way, their way, and be more efficient when I do the tapping on myself. I also use someone to help me and to work as the surrogate when the situation is very critical and I need to be super focused as a practitioner to guide the animal towards healing and releasing his blocks or their blocks. And also when I'm too involved in them, because for instance, it's one of my pets or I know the animal very personally and I'm too attached to the outcome. So then I'd rather have someone acting as the animal, feeling for the animal, connecting with the animal, and I can really work as a healer, as a practitioner uh, on the feedback that person is giving me. Honestly, with tapping, whether it's direct or surrogate tapping, the results are often very impressive. However, I've noticed it might take a bit of time. It can be like the next day or the day after that you're going to notice really impressive changes. And depending on the issue, of course, it might take longer, like one, two, three, or several sessions. But there are changes, and there are. I mean, it's really nice and beautiful to see how the animals are um, changing as they are able to release these blocked emotions. So it's really worth trying. I can't recommend it enough. So that was it for today's topic. I hope you enjoyed that video, and please let me know how it works for you. You can also leave a comment or let me know what other topic you would like to know more about. Um, so give the thumbs up to that video, to my other video, and if you feel like it, subscribe and share. Uh, if you think that video and the others can help other animal lovers and owners. So that's all for today, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!